Hello everybody, welcome back to Stamping School. My friend Janet Munden from Claremont, Florida sent me this balcony card. It's kind of a cool thing. They've been very popular lately. And you know, things keep coming back around and I love that because it folds flat, but it really makes a statement when someone gets it. So this is the A2 smaller size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And like I said, it folds flat to mail, and there's a little space on the back if you want to write. So the balcony card has the points, and then the bendy cards, and it's with an I. And I don't know who came up with this. I have been seeing these at least 10 years. They kind of come and go, so I'm not sure where they originated. But a bendy card is, to me, still looks like a balcony, like a opera theater or something, but it's actually, they call them bendy cards, and they're layered like this, and they stand up also like that. And these are really easy to make, and they're fun. And this is a 5 by 7 that folds down flat, like that. So it doesn't take up much paper, and we'll put something on the back of this. And then I'll show you how to do the smaller size, like Janet's, using the same idea. So my goal today, show you the basic template of this, and then you can decorate these any way you want. I mean, think how cute these would be for barnyard things. You could put a fence here. You could put landscaping and trees and make this a big horizon back here. This could be water and waves. I mean, it's endless what you could do with it. Today I'm using the Plentiful Plants. I'm so very happy to see is carrying over into the new annual catalog in May. This is page 81 in our current catalog, and I think if you get it before the new catalog begins, this is a 10% bundle discount, so they'll be separate in the next catalog, but it'll be there. There's no rush. It's just 10% more. It has cute little dies that come with it, and there's designer paper, which is not carrying over, but you really don't need the designer paper. You know, it's really wonderful. The dies actually match a good portion of it. This one right here, not this one. This is just, you can actually just fussy cut these out if you want to. But the dies will cut out this one, and this one, and this one. These little plants, if you want, or you could just fussy cut them. And the die will cut out this one, and this one. So it gives you lots of options. As you can see, I've been going in and cutting pieces out of it. But I thought this one would be great for a background, so cutting it down. So let's look at the basics of the bendy card. And a side note, if you want it to be a balcony card, all you have to do is score this right down the middle, score this, and pop it out, make it a point. So I could easily do that. Even right now, I could score it here in the middle and do that. So for the 5 by 7, I love the larger size because, you know, it still fits in a regular stamped envelope. You don't have to pay extra postage for a 5 by 7, but it's a little bit larger. 5 by 7 for the background. I'm using Soft Succulent. Remember that the measurements are in a PDF. The link is right in the description below the video. What we're going to do is put this layer on for the designer paper. And you know, you could make it like that, I suppose, with it coming down, but no, I'm going to do it this way. The best way that I found to glue this down and still crease it, because we need to score it in the middle, I've tried lots of different ways, is to go around the outside. So this is going to be a layer of the designer paper, and we're going to go all the way around, but we're going to leave the middle free of the glue. And to me, it just makes it a little bit smoother. And I'm going to do this first before I score it. All right, so this is going right here. Get it nice and burnished down. I got a little rhinestone back here. Get it nice and glued down. Bring in your scoring tool, whatever you like to use. And we need to score it directly in half because this is 7 inches. So we need to score it down the middle at 3 1/2. This one cuts, this one scores, and give it a few back and forth. And there it is. So very carefully, kind of just bend it a little bit like that. And it should be pretty good. So see, because we didn't glue right here, there's not a really ugly seam. So it just needs to be enough that it stands up on its own. All right, now for the 2 pieces. All right, for the wall, I'm using the brick paper, and I cut them in 1.5-inch strips. And this one is 1.5 by 7 3/4. That's going to be for this bottom layer right here. And you need 2 little ends that are 1/2 inch scored so we can glue it down. So I'm just going to bring it in here. Here's my 1/2 inch right there. I know you probably can't see it, but it's going to go 1/2 inch very gently because this is designer paper. Oh, I can just do this. And then turn it 1/2. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the second tier, which is this one right here, which is a touch smaller. This one is 1.5 by 6, and we're going to do the same thing. 2 little 1/2 inch tabs on each end so that we can glue it down. That's the basics of it right there. Now, what Janet did on hers is she did the cardstock and designer paper, and she tucked it inside here. I'll show you another one that I did. Look, I did this one for my niece. It's a little Easter one. It's got lots of bunnies and flowers and things like that, a little chick. Same exact measurements, but I tucked it down in there. The thing is that you got to get this paper on first, and then you got to lift it back up and stick it down in there, and that was just too complicated. So on mine, we're starting with the tabs, and we're just going to glue them straight on right here. It just works better. And use a nice strong glue like this. The Stampin' Seal works great. Sticky tape or some kind of, you want something that's going to hold well. Okay, and those tabs glue right to the edge of the designer paper and across. And remember, this folds flat, so you know it should be nice and flat when you're working. Okay, so there's the first layer. There it is. Now the second tier goes anywhere you want it to, but I just kind of staggered it up just a wee bit. So go here. Same tab. Now this is the tab that's only 6 inches, and by the time you take 1 inch off with the tabs, it ends up being about 5 inches. So just kind of eyeball it, you know, whatever looks good. Just sort of stick it in there. Make sure it's somewhat even. Yeah, there, okay. There it is. And remember, if you want it to be a balcony card, all you have to do is score that or fold it in half, and that'll make them pointed, like Janet's right here. Now this is where I added all my plants, and I'll show you how to add those in on the small one. But first, let me show you how to finish the back side. I took another 1.5 inch piece and cut it in half, so it's like 3/4 inch. And you can just do panels. Now if you have a lot to say, you can do 2 white panels. I always struggle for what to say in cards, so this one is going to just be decorative on this side right here. And this is just more designer paper right here. But you can certainly add anything you want back here. And then those Plentiful Plants dies are just so cute, so I thought I would hang the pot like right here. I think that looks kind of fun. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and this is the little one of the little pots. I'm going to stick this behind here, right there, and I'm going to put a dimensional, so one of those sticky guys right back here, just to kind of line up where it's going to go. Right, I need to come over a little for the plant, right there. Okay, hold that aside for a minute. Got a couple of dimensionals for the plant. Can't really interfere too much. There you go, right there. And now this guy, there's not a lot of room to glue, so we're going to do glue dots. And I'm going to take a glue dot and go right here at the tail and right at the top. I know they're clear, you can't really see what I'm doing, but I promise they're there. Right there. So that holds just basically on the top and the bottom. And then I'm just going to take my marker and draw the teeniest little string right there, just so it looks like it's hanging from something. Isn't that cute though? All right, so that's how you can decorate the back side. All right, now let me show you the smaller size. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So this is the regular A2 size. Soft succulent back here, 4 inches by 5.5 inches. normal card size, and then this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So these are only 1 inch, and this is 1 inch by 6 1/4, and same thing, score. So you have 1/2 inch tabs, just like that. Just because the 1 1/2 might be a lot for this little card. Again, right to the end of the designer paper, each end, there. And this one is 1 inch by 5 inches, and same as little 1/2 inch tabs on each end. And that goes right in the middle, kind of suspended each side. This didn't have to be perfect, but right. Okay, there's the small little bendy. Now let's make the little flower pots. So I stamped and pre-cut these. The stamps are really nice. They're actually all etched. They have like this shading to them, which I want them to be a little bit more solid, but I'll show you a little trick to do that. But it's kind of nice having the shading in there, and the sentiments are really great. So I feel like I can use all of these easily. Now, if you take our clear blender pen, which has that glycerin formula in it, you know, we use it a lot for the inks and for markers and things like that to blend. So for instance, on this pot, I hope you can see it okay, this is how it stamps, which is nice because it has a darker area and it has the lines. But if you want that to be a little bit more prominent, I suppose, you can take your blender pen, and because it's wet, it takes that dye-based ink and it just makes it a touch darker. And I feel like I just want this a little bit bolder. So I'm just gonna go over, it's like the easiest coloring you can do because it's all done for you. And it just wets it down, and then you just wipe off the extra color. And it's just that's double tipped. I think they come 3 in a package for $9.85. Stampin' Up sells them. They've sold them since I started over 20 years ago. Here's the yellow pot. It stamps just like this, but if you want it to be a little bit bolder, just sort of go over it and it makes it wet. And then it'll dry very quickly. And if you use a permanent ink, you can't do that. It has to be that water-based dye ink like we have. So here's my little banner. To a dear friend. I've got that popped up on dimensionals. That will go right there. I suppose it could go anywhere, but I like it up there. And then here's a pot with a dimensional on the back. Now I did take a paper punch, paper hole punch, and cut out the 2 little handles. Those do not die cut that way. It's just white, but I wanted to see through them. Oh, we got to put the foliage on. So back here, we're going to take this little foliage, put that right there. Help me move this dimensional down. Right there. Put the dimensional there to hold the plant down. Isn't that cute? I was just in Arizona last week with my friend Patsy Wagner, and we saw so many of these plants, all these cactus, and this one right here. Huh. Right, same thing, the yellow pot. Turn it over. And I'm going to put the plant down and another dimensional to hold it. We're leaving this open because we don't want it to stick up here when we open the card. So let's just put that right here. Now this is smaller, so you have less to decorate on this one. And maybe, I thought maybe I would just put this one like over the top over here or something, like right there. And everybody's so excited because the butterflies carried over. I love these butterflies. They're flat. They mail so nicely. They're gold. I want them in all different colors, but I'll take just gold. Can always color them in some way. But let's put a few little butterflies floating around here. This is just kind of pretty. Let's do one here. And one more little bitty one. I'm gonna do right here. There. And I can do the same thing on the back. I can put my panels to write on back here. Fits in the envelope, nice and flat. So there you go. That's a bendy card. And here is the balcony card. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Go make one. We'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.